If you're a man over 50 and frequent nighttime trips to the bathroom, a weaker urine stream, or the feeling that your bladder isn't fully emptying have become all too familiar, what I'm about to share could be one of the most important pieces of information you'll ever receive. That's because there are certain foods most men eat every day, often without a second thought. Foods that are widely seen as part of a normal diet, but which right now could be silently impacting your prostate health. This isn't just a habit, it's a hidden challenge in your routine. And if you don't make conscious adjustments, no medication, supplement, or specific exercise will bring you the peace and comfort you're seeking. The truth is, prostate discomfort isn't an inevitable sentence of aging. In many cases, it's a condition slowly nurtured over decades by food choices that don't support your body. I'm Dr. Grace Prescott, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience, dedicated to guiding men back to well-being and peace of mind. I've spoken with thousands of men who came to my office feeling exhausted, frustrated, and sometimes embarrassed, believing restful nights and quality of life were things of the past. But when we shift focus from symptoms to the biological causes of prostate inflammation, something wonderful happens. Our bodies have an extraordinary ability to rebalance. If we give them the right tools, the most powerful one for supporting prostate health isn't a pill or procedure. It's the choices we make at the table. Many men link prostate issues only to age, but that's a limited view that can keep us from acting. In reality, there's a cycle of inflammation and cellular stress that's the main cause, and it's often fueled by three very common food groups: dairy, red meat, and sugars. In this video, I'll explain how these foods may be interfering with your prostate health. I'll introduce a simple strategy to start reversing this, something I've seen work countless times, and I'll show how modern science backs every step. Stay with me. This is more than a guide. It's a path to taking back control of your well-being. First, let's understand what's really happening with your prostate. I've sat across from hundreds of men, good men, family men, hardworking men, who look at me and ask in tired voices, "Doctor, what's happening to me?" Their voices show fatigue. Their confidence is shaken. They're not just talking about urgent bathroom trips. They're talking about losing independence, a sense of vulnerability they've never felt before. And the saddest part is most believed this was normal. It's just age catching up, they'd say, as if prostate discomfort were as certain as the sunrise. But let me share a different perspective. Chronic inflammation is the main driver behind benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, prostate enlargement. And if we don't address this root cause, any other treatment is like mopping the floor while the faucet's still running. Think of your body as a sophisticated biological system, and the prostate is especially sensitive to its internal environment. When you eat foods that stress your system, an inflammatory response kicks in as a defense. Prostate cells, to protect themselves, may start to swell. Over time, this constant alert state can lead to disordered cell growth, causing the prostate to enlarge and press on the urethra, triggering all those symptoms that steal your peace. While many factors play a role, like genetics and stress, three food groups act as the primary fuel for this internal irritation. They're not just calories, they're imbalanced triggers. So, what are these foods and how can we make smarter choices? The answer may surprise you and bring huge relief, because the solution is largely in your hands. I'll be very clear. There are three food groups I've consistently identified in the diets of my patients with prostate discomfort. And science shows they're the biggest inflammation promoters. The first is milk and dairy products. Listen with an open mind, because I know this may go against what we've been taught. For years, the message was that milk means health and strong bones. But for men in midlife and beyond, especially those prone to prostate issues, dairy can be a silent challenge. Large-scale studies, including reviews in urology journals, have found a link between high dairy intake and increased prostate problem risk. The reasons are twofold. First, dairy is high in calcium, which, in excess, can disrupt the body's delicate hormonal balance. Second, and perhaps more importantly, cow's milk contains growth factors like IGF-1. This hormone's natural job is to speed calf growth, but it can also stimulate cell growth in humans, including prostate cells. We're not talking occasional intake, but decades of daily habits. The second food to watch is red meat, especially fatty cuts and processed versions. When you eat red meat, particularly cooked at high temperatures, your body faces compounds that cause oxidative stress. High intake of saturated fats and substances formed from over-grilling or frying can contribute to prostate inflammation. Finally, the third group, refined sugars. Cookies, cakes, sodas, white bread, anything causing sudden blood glucose spikes triggers widespread inflammation. This systemic inflammation doesn't just affect the prostate, it impacts the whole body. Think of these three food groups as the firewood keeping the prostate inflammation fire burning. Making alternative choices or cutting back isn't just a good idea. It's essential for anyone wanting to restore prostate health and overall well-being. When I talk to patients about the diet-prostate link, many are initially skeptical. How can a plate change be more powerful than a pill? They ask. It's a fair question. We live in a culture craving quick fixes, but the science, my guide, is clear. A major review in the journal Nutrients showed diets high in fruits, vegetables, and fish are linked to much lower BPH risk and symptoms. Conversely, diets heavy in red meat, dairy, and saturated fats consistently show the opposite, and the quality of life difference is statistically significant. But the deepest change I see happens at the cellular level. Chronic inflammation underlies many aging-related conditions, and the prostate structure makes it especially vulnerable. By choosing foods that calm rather than irritate the body, you give your system a chance to rebalance. Think of it as giving your body a well-deserved break. It can exit constant defense mode and start reorganizing. But what makes this real isn't just data. It's the stories of real men with real challenges who made one simple change and saw their lives transform. One patient, sharing with permission, is Charles, a 65-year-old retired teacher. Charles came to me after months of frustration. He was getting up 5 times a night, exhausted all day, and his social life was limited by constant bathroom anxiety. His diet was typical: cereal with milk in the morning, cheese sandwich at lunch, red meat for dinner several times a week. I suggested one change at a time. Swap cow's milk for almond milk, limit red meat to once a week, add more dark leafy greens like spinach and kale. At first, he doubted. "Seems too simple, doctor," he said. I encouraged him to try for 30 days. I'll never forget his call 3 weeks later. "Doctor," he said, voice full of emotion, "I only got up once last night and the flow is much better. I feel more rested than in years." His voice wasn't just relief, it was wonder, like he'd uncovered a secret always there. And in a way, he had. It wasn't magic, it was removing triggers. Once he stopped feeding inflammation, his body began its natural recovery. And Charles's story isn't isolated, it repeats often. You'd be surprised how many men try to do the right thing, but the wrong way, and end up frustrated. I see it with supplements, restrictive diets, teas. That's why I always say the how matters as much as the what. To use this approach for your prostate, give your body the best shot at responding. Start gently. Don't overhaul everything overnight. Pick one of the 3 food groups and make a smart swap for 30 days. If dairy's a strong habit, try a plant-based alternative like oat or almond milk, unsweetened. If red meat's the issue, swap for fish, chicken, or plant proteins like lentils. Substitute, don't eliminate without options. If sugars tempt you, start with sodas and packaged sweets. Make it easy. Switch to fruit and sparkling water. The key isn't perfection, it's consistency. I encourage patients to fill their plates with more vegetables, especially lycopene-rich ones like cooked tomatoes and cruciferous veggies like broccoli. These not only calm inflammation, but directly support prostate health. And here's the mindset that changes everything. Don't see this as restriction. See it as a conscious choice for your well-being. A daily act saying to your body, I'm on your side. I'm taking care of you. Now, let's talk about what to expect after 30 days. The changes go far beyond the bathroom and may surprise you. Something wonderful happens when a man commits to one healthy habit. Not 5, not 10, just 1. I've seen it so many times. A man arrives discouraged, skeptical, but he returns a month later with a new spark in his eyes. His posture is straighter, he speaks clearer, smiles easier, and I know before he says it, something fundamental shifted. When you significantly cut irritating foods for 30 days, the effect isn't limited to your prostate. Yes, many men notice fewer sleep interruptions, stronger urine flow, and the satisfying feeling of full emptying, but that's just the start. What stands out is how the whole body responds. Energy returns, mental focus sharpens, deep sleep becomes normal, not the exception. That brain fog many blame on age starts to lift. They feel lighter, more energetic, more connected to themselves. One patient said he regained confidence to attend a game with his grandkids without bathroom anxiety. Another said his wife asked what he'd been doing. He looked visibly happier. These aren't anecdotes, they're real biological shifts. Less systemic inflammation leads to a more balanced body. A balanced body means a healthier prostate. A healthy prostate means reclaiming the freedom you thought was gone. And the best part, you don't need perfection. No overnight life revolution. Just give your body consistent signals of care. That's the power of constancy. But what if you've tried everything and nothing worked? What if you're afraid to get your hopes up? I deeply understand that feeling. That's why the next point matters. This approach isn't a band-aid, it's the foundation. I've seen many men chase shortcuts, pills, procedures, hoping for instant results. When they don't come or don't last, frustration is huge. I've had men in my office feeling like failures for trying everything. But the truth is, many approaches target symptoms, not causes. That's the big difference. Your body isn't a broken machine. It's a living system that responds to rhythm and consistency. Cutting inflammatory foods works because it strengthens your health foundation. This change doesn't force an artificial response. It nourishes your body's natural rebalancing ability. When asked, why bother with diet if I can take a pill? My answer is simple. A pill without a solid health base is like building a house on sand. It may work temporarily, but it won't last. Deep down, most men don't want temporary relief. They want to feel good in their own bodies again. Consistency, confidence, independence, that comes from rebuilding well-being worn down by time and stress. The good news, you're never too old to start. I've had 70 and 80-year-old patients see remarkable improvements, not from radical changes, but from committing to one small, steady self-care habit. That's the difference between managing a symptom and addressing the root cause. Now that you understand the why, it's time to connect all the dots. Because ultimately, this isn't just about food, it's about you, your quality of life, and the man you can still be. Let's talk about that. If there's one message I hope sticks today, it's that your body hasn't given up on you. Even if you've felt frustrated or worn out, your well-being potential is still there. Sometimes all it needs is the right nudge to reignite. We discussed what's really happening, how chronic inflammation drives most prostate discomfort. We identified the 3 food groups to watch: dairy, red meat, sugars, and how they fuel internal irritation. I shared Charles's story, who regained sleep and peace with one simple habit shift. I showed you how to apply this strategy, make it sustainable, and what to expect after 30 days, not just physical comfort, but how you feel and show up in the world. And we